Welcome to another episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves, taking strategy to get that green. I'm really excited about today. Today I have a guest with me, Kevin Clements. He is from First Connect Communications, and we're going to be focusing on how do you pivot your business when crises happen that are not within your control. Things like what we're experiencing today, COVID-19. Welcome, Kevin. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you so much, Vicki. It's really a pleasure to be here.
I tell you, when I think about all of what you're doing, and I really want you to share with our audience, about your company and where you are and the challenges that you're facing.
Okay, very good. My company is First Connect Communication. We've been in business for a while, and what we do, we design and install communication infrastructure. That's voice, video, and data. Anytime you have a building of any type, typically you're going to have computers, you're going to have cameras, you're going to have a phone system. Mm-hmm. So we put those in.
Oh, well, that's awesome. And I know you've been in business a long time, and as you've been doing that, you obviously have been growing and growing and growing. And then we have this thing happen that just, something we have no control over. Who could have predicted COVID-19? Yes. So based upon that, where were you when COVID started in terms of the business? Were things picking up? Were they going really well? Or had they already slowed down in anticipation? Talk to me a little bit about that timing.
Well, I have to tell you, we weren't really growing that much. We had really become a bit comfortable. Okay. Because for the last, almost 20 years, we've been doing a lot of business in the Atlanta University Center with Morehouse College, Atlanta University, or Clark Atlanta University, Morehouse School of Medicine, Morris Brown when they were operating. So we were kind of comfortable. Mm-hmm. We had gotten into those schools, and every time they needed, changes to their communication infrastructure, we were there to do it. They knew us. So we weren't really striking out and seeking other markets and other opportunities the way we should have. So as you know, when COVID came, all that closed down. Mm-hmm. So now we have to learn how to do things a little bit differently. Okay. And since that time, we partnered with, or we became part of the Urban League Next Level Accelerator Program. Mm-hmm. And I have a coach as well. and we're working with that coach to see what we can do to do things a little bit differently than what we've done in the past.
That's awesome. Well, I know they have an absolute wonderful program, so stick with that because it definitely will take you to the next level as you're moving forward. When you begin to think about, sometimes what happens is you're right, we get comfortable, we get the same customers. It's kind of like having one customer that pays your bills every month, right? Gives you all your money, and then when that customer goes away, you go, what am I supposed to do, right? Mm-hmm. How do I move forward? So this is a great opportunity for you from the perspective that we can now think outside of the box. Let's now begin to think about, okay, schools were one thing. Are there other universities that are going to have needs coming up that can be in our pipeline down the road? Are there companies, corporations that are looking to build? Atlanta is growing. Growing leaps and bounds. We're doing a building here, a construction there. We do apartment buildings. We do all kinds of things that's going to have infrastructure because everybody expects what? The internet. Everybody wants voice. Everybody wants data. Everybody's looking at videos. So even in apartment complexes, they're using, cards you have to swipe to get in. All kinds of things that are happening as they're moving forward. The question becomes, have you taken an opportunity to look at some of those that at the very beginning of the workflow? So whether it's your architects, whether it's at the very beginning of the RFP process, that you could partner with. So when they get that RFP, you're already part of it. You're part of that RFP. You're part of the process moving forward that can help you to grow your business in that way, right? Because you're at the beginning of that workflow. Now, I know a lot of companies, that have businesses today and buildings, and because of COVID, a lot of people are working remote, and they're going to stay working remote. So to me, it also means that as they're doing that, more and more businesses are concerned about their security for remote purposes, their infrastructure for remote purposes, what they're doing with their data going back and forth as people are working remote. Question becomes, is there a creative solution or something that you could pivot off of that from the infrastructure you offer that could help companies to be able to scale that for staying remote? Increasing that opportunity. You think about, my nephew owns a architectural and construction company. And I think about when we were doing the MLK natatorium here in Atlanta. And you'd have all your electricians and you'd have your designers and you'd have, people who were doing the construction but everybody was getting a sub. And I was like, wow, I never realized how much subcontracting goes in doing those things. So I would suggest that you think about, how do I become a subcontractor on that approved list for like the city of Atlanta, for government agencies? Those give you lots of opportunities to kind of go in at the very beginning, in terms of moving forward, making it happen. From a product standpoint, have you ever thought about how you could extend your products?
Well, products. In recent years, one of the products that, have come forward are the Wi-Fi products. And we actually partnered with a company, and we are a reseller of Xeris.
Oh, fantastic.
Wireless access points. So we're not really a product company, we're more of a service company. But that is a product that we did, reach out to Xeris and say we'd like to, sell that product. So that's one instance. I can't really think of too many other products, so to speak. We really don't want to be a camera reseller or, phone systems are kind of going out now. Now you have voice over IP.
Right.
So we really don't want to jump into that space.
Okay.
There's something that we do well in terms of the design and installation of the infrastructure, and we kind of want to stick with that.
Okay.
But Wi-Fi is becoming so prevalent that since we're installing it,
Right.
why not sell it?
Exactly. And that was actually where I was thinking about, was as we're thinking about that infrastructure. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll explore a little bit more about your company.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Strategic Minds, Making Money Moves with Vicki WrightHamilton focuses on helping entrepreneurs to overcome their business challenges to help increase their bottom line. Each episode provides strategies for growth and transformation. Watch Vicki share her 20-plus years of experience as a corporate executive to help entrepreneurs level up.
Strategic Minds Making Money Moves to get that green. The thing we have to think about is I'd like to give you something to consider. Not only do we have to do it for our businesses, but I contend you do it for yourself. You know why I say that? Because if you think personally, you have a budget at home, only so much money comes in, only so much money can go out. You have things that you do at home called processes, meaning who's going to wash the dishes, who's taking the trash out, who's cooking the meal, who's doing the laundry. All of those things are how your household actually runs and operates. When it comes to people, not only is it the people within your household, the people that you live with each and every day, what happens when people come to visit? What does that look like? So you have that component of people as well. And guess what? You're also an employer. Did you know that? Did you know you are the CEO regardless to what you do to earn your money? Because as that CEO, your customers are the people that you pay. When you go to the grocery store, that's a customer of yours. You're paying money to it. And they expect you to come, and they're what? Relying on those dollars. When you get your lawn cut, when you get your nails done, when you get your hair done, all of those people are customers because they're relying on you to give them their money. They're relying on you to make that paycheck. When things happen in your household and you go, well, can't afford to go get my nails done this week, you look at it as, I just can't get it done. The person that does your nail looks at it as, I lost. I'm not making money. I'm without. So we have to consider not only the strategies of home, but they also translate to the strategies at work. So I contend each and every person can have strategic minds to make money moves, whether you're trying to make the money in the household personally or whether you're trying to do it professionally, when whatever capacity you may earn those dollars. So think about always understanding that strategy is practice all the time. We make those moves by conscious decisions, and those conscious decisions give us what we need in terms of developing that green at the end of the day, letting the dollars come in. So let it rain dollars on top of dollars, because you're using great strategies for implementation. Welcome back. As we're talking about how to pivot your organization, one of the things that, so I understand as you and I were on the same path as talking about products that, I was really thinking about the Wi-Fi, but let's talk about your services. So are there ways to extend your type of services so that you can expand into other markets? You could expand to other companies in terms of moving forward?
I think there are. And of course, in recent times, particularly now, we've been thinking very hard about that. Fiber, for example.
Yes.
Fiber is the new copper,
right,
so to speak.
Exactly.
Even though you have a lot of Wi-Fi out there, it's all running back to the closet now. Well, it's still running back with copper, but fiber is starting to replace copper. Mm-hmm. All the 5G infrastructure out there, where you have the antennas on the poles,
yes,
all that's running back to a single point via fiber cable.
Okay.
So the degree that we can become more fiber certified and begin to partner with those companies that are utilizing a lot of fiber.
Yes.
Which are kind of like the Comcast of the world,
exactly.
and the AT&Ts of the world, then I think we can do well. And that's something we're starting to look at right now.
So if you're going to do that, the reason I was asking that question is that I think it's great that you're looking to take look at your services to see where you can expand upon. I think the element that you're going to have to add to that is, what is my marketing strategy going forward, right? And how am I going to get the word out there that I'm available? How do I get the word out there that I'm ready to partner with you, that I have an opportunity, because I may have been known just as this big. Now I'm going to offer something additional, and I need to let that be known as well. So I think, as you begin to think about these things, thinking about your brand strategy, thinking about your marketing strategy, and thinking about that messaging is going to be important in preparation for actually having these partnerships and opportunities, going forward. Because you got a prime time right now while, things are not going as fast as we want them to, but I think it's a planning period, right? It's a time for us to get prepared, so that we can continue to execute too. So as people are getting certifications, I don't know how many people on your staff are already certified in fiber, but going through to get those certifications where you can show that we're a certified fiber installer, and we have these certifications behind us, and we have these skill sets behind us that make someone say, I want you as a subcontractor, or I want you to come in and partner with me to help me in terms of enabling this capability to move forward, as you move forward. Does that make sense?
No, it makes absolute sense. But I want to go back to something you said a little bit earlier when you talked about getting ahead of the process.
Yes.
In terms of our marketing strategy. I think that's so important, because one thing we've been doing so far is, we've been, as individuals, doing the work instead of out there networking. And in this business, it's so important to network
Yes.
with the A&Es,
Yes.
with the general contractors.
That's correct.
And network with people like the Association of Black Construction
That's correct.
Contractors and people like that. So important. And we haven't done that previously. So I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yes, I think that's important. I also think having opportunities to go, even though things are virtual, you can get in opportunities to attend events where they're even having virtual room setups for networking, for their happy hours, as they're doing these events and things like that. Taking advantage of all of that is really, really critical during this time because everybody's trying to do something, as certain parts of that segment are shrinking during, COVID-19. So everybody's trying to figure out, how do I maximize this time, reskill, retool, remarket, re-elevate my business so when it comes back, I'm ready and prepared.
Yes.
Right? In terms of doing that. And with all the construction and all the things that we have, as we were talking about here in Atlanta, there's lots of opportunities to get in the door, but they got to know you. They got to know who you are.
Absolutely.
They got to know who you
Absolutely.
are. So I do think that that's why I thought that the marketing strategy is going to be really, really important to tell you what is my landscape, who is my target audience, where am I trying to go, what does this look like, and how can I leverage that capability going forward? Because during this time, a lot of people had to lay off employees. Right? So what are you doing to keep your employees engaged so when the times get good, you can bring them back? Right? What are you doing to help them to learn a new skill during this time period so that they can learn a skill, they can get information and things like that for when you come back? So all of those things become extremely important while we're in this downtime, if you will, in terms of moving forward during a pivot. And that's what pivoting becomes all about. Looking at things in a different perspective. How do I look at this differently? So either I expand off of what I already have, I augment what I already have and offer something else in addition to. I look at my business processes as to how I can streamline, make better, improve, right? And I look at people that I can either get connections with, opportunities with, partner with, associations, organizations, your ability to speak, your ability to write. Maybe there is an association newsletter that comes out and you decide you're going to write a blog in it, right? You contact them and you write a blog. You write about things that are going on. When it comes to leveraging Morehouse and the universities, getting their testimonials about what you do, and making that happen, but making that go viral in your marketing strategy. Here's what the people are saying that we've done. And I've been with them for 20 years, right? They always call me, right? I'm on speed dial, but there's a reason for that. So embedding that into that strategy as you're moving forward as well becomes extremely important. So I think getting that marketing effort is going to really help you to kind of seal that.
You're dropping a lot of gems, Vicki.
Oh, well, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that.
I appreciate it, yes.
Well, we're getting ready to go for a commercial break. We'll be right back, and then we'll wrap it up and see if we have an audience member who would like to give a comment or ask a question. We'll be right back.
Strategic Minds, Making Money Moves with Vicki WrightHamilton focuses on helping entrepreneurs to overcome their business challenges to help increase their bottom line. Each episode provides strategies for growth and transformation. Watch Vicki share her 20-plus years of experience as a corporate executive to help entrepreneurs level up.
Strategic Minds Making Money Moves to get that green. The thing we have to think about is I'd like to give you something to consider. Not only do we have to do it for our businesses, but I contend you do it for yourself. You know why I say that? Because if you think personally, you have a budget at home, only so much money comes in, only so much money can go out. You have things that you do at home called processes, meaning who's going to wash the dishes, who's taking the trash out, who's cooking the meal, who's doing the laundry. All of those things are how your household actually runs and operates. When it comes to people, Not only is it the people within your household, the people that you live with each and every day. What happens when people come to visit? What does that look like? So you have that component of people as well. And guess what? You're also an employer. Did you know that? Did you know you are the CEO regardless to what you do to earn your money? Because as that CEO, your customers are the people that you pay. When you go to the grocery store, that's a customer of yours. You're paying money to it. And they expect you to come, and they're what? Relying on those dollars. When you get your lawn cut, when you get your nails done, when you get your hair done, all of those people are customers because they're relying on you to give them their money. They're relying on you to make that paycheck. When things happen in your household and you go, well, can't afford to go get my nails done this week, you look at it as, I just can't get it done. The person that does your nail looks at it as, I lost. I'm not making money. I'm without. So we have to consider not only the strategies of home, but they also translate to the strategies at work. So I contend each and every person can have strategic minds to make money moves, whether you're trying to make the money in the household personally or whether you're trying to do it professionally, when whatever capacity you may earn those dollars. So think about always understanding that strategy is practice all the time. We make those moves by conscious decisions, and those conscious decisions give us what we need in terms of developing that green at the end of the day, letting the dollars come in. So let it rain dollars on top of dollars because you're using great strategies for implementation. So welcome back. Let's continue our conversation as we're talking to Kevin and talking about pivoting during these times of COVID. So, Kevin, one of the other things I wanted to say as we're talking about tips and thinking about it, you are a minority firm, a predominant minority firm. Leverage it. There are so many companies that are looking for supplier diversity. You've got government agencies, you've got city, they all have to have so many minorities. And so when you partner with the majority, that may get an RFP, you count and it matters. So you need to continue to network and leverage so that your supplier diversity is actually utilized. Because to be in business so long and to have the track record that you have and to have the proven success, use it. You've got power behind that, so use it. And when you're selling it to them, what you're doing is you're helping them meet their objective. They're the ones that have targets that they're supposed to have for supplier diversity. They're the ones that need to meet these numbers. So utilize it. Make it happen. So you've got the tools. You can do this. You can make it happen and pivot. So I hope that, some of these things have been helpful to you in terms of going to the next level.
Oh, very much so.
Well, let's see if our guests have any questions or comments they'd like to ask.
Hi, Kevin. I'm Tashana Thompson, and I'm a marketing strategist. And one of the things that I believe that Vicki brought up that's so important is really being visible online. And especially during this time, I have found that I have been one of those businesses that has grown tremendously because people need to pivot and they have to be online. So bringing your business to LinkedIn and really having being front and center there and sharing your expertise and your knowledge will go leaps and bounds. Also, disadvantaged economically businesses, there's certifications for that you can do government contracting that would take your business really to the next level.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Now, we are a DBE, but in terms of being on LinkedIn, we're really not.
Oh, boy.
So
I can help with that.
I see we have a golden opportunity here. And the other thing is you have other certifications.
yes.
And what are
that's
some
true.
of those?
Well, we're DBE. We're what is it with City of Atlanta? It's all DBE with MARTA, City of Atlanta. I'm an RCDD.
And tell us about RCDD so our audience understands the significance of that.
Well, RCDD means, what it stands for is Register Communication Distribution Designer, which means that you have expertise in designing communication infrastructure, designing how it goes into a building, designing how big the communication space must be in a building, designing the pathways through a building, designing the fiber going through it, dealing with how often you have to have a handhold in the ground, what the bend radiuses have to be, how close you can be to electricity, how close you can be to water.
Okay.
Well, basically, you're talking about codes and standards
Okay.
when it comes to communication infrastructure. So,
And those are extremely,
Yes.
let's make no mistake, they are extremely difficult to get. Leverage it. So I think we have some opportunities for some marketing and to leverage those talents that you bring to the table. So will you all join me in thanking my guests today? Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you all will join in with us for next week's episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves. See you then.